Hey, today we're going to take a look at a very simple fingerpicking song, and we are putting this up. This is, of course, Up on the Housetop. Christmas classic, I guess, but definitely a fun song. And this is going to be a free lesson. We got this up for everybody at Totally Guitars because kind of in the Christmas spirit of just keeping some cool tunes happening for all our registered users. So in Up on the Housetop, we're going to make this it's an alternating bass song. We only need 3 chords. We're going to be playing this in the key of G and doing an approximation of Travis picking. So what we're going to do here is play 3 chords: G, G, C, and D. Now in the key of G, G would be chord 1, C would be chord 4, and D would be chord 5. We're going to modify the D a little bit, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the fingering for the chords. On the Gs, when you're finger picking, you don't need to have the whole chord down. As a matter of fact, all you need for a G chord most of the time when you're finger picking is your 3rd finger on the G and the bass. So every time it tells you to play G in this song, you need the G with your 3rd finger and then whatever melody notes you might need to play. Now a lot of times that's nothing. You might have some open notes that you're just going to play in here. So that can make it really easy, so you don't have to have anything else down on the G chords usually. You specifically don't need your 2nd finger on the B. You're never going to hit that string because on the G chords we're going to be alternating back and forth on the bass notes between the 6th and 4th string. So we're going to keep your thumb going back and forth at the speed of quarter notes, which is kind of the whole way finger picking works. Back and forth between the 6th string and the 4th string. When it goes to a C chord, we do need to have more notes down. At least your 3rd finger and your 2nd finger, and most of the time your 1st finger. So we go to C and play all 3 fingers for the standard C fingering. 1st finger on the 2nd string, 2nd on the 4th, and 3rd on the 5th. You got that chord down already, I'm sure. So we go to C and we keep the bass alternating now between 5 and 4. The whole time, actually on all 3 chords, your thumb's alternating back and forth between 2 bass notes. And these 3 fingers are staying glued to, well, they're never actually touching them except when you're playing, but are assigned to the top 3 strings. So again, this is a very basic finger picking song. Your index finger will always play the 3rd string, your middle finger will always play the 2nd string, and your ring finger will always play the 1st string. So that's what we're staying with that system for Up on the Housetop. Now, the D chords, though, are going to be slightly modified from normal D, and this is a great thing about playing a fingerpicking song in the key of G. We can get a much easier access to our melody notes if we don't have to go to the 4th string in the bass as the 1st bass note. So we play all the D chords. We have a D and kind of a D7. We play them with F sharp in the bass. So your 2nd finger is going to the 2nd fret of the 6th string, and that's all you need down as far as the bass is concerned. For your D chords, we're going to be alternating then back and forth between the 6th string and the 4th string. So anytime it's telling you D, you'll see the D/F sharp. That means a D chord with F sharp in the bass, which again means we're playing the F sharp on the 1st beat and alternating to D on the 2nd beat and the 4th beat. So we've got D with F sharp in the bass in the first 2 sections. Later on in the 3rd line where it's really a D7, but that has to do with what we're playing in the melody. With that F sharp in the bass, a melody note we're always going to need with it is your 3rd finger on A, on the 2nd fret of the G string, the 3rd string. So these 2 fingers go together for this D with F sharp in the bass, and then sometimes we need your 4th finger to play the note D at the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. Other times we need your 1st finger at the 1st fret of the B string playing C. That's when we're calling this one D7 with F sharp in the bass. So taking it now kind of measure by measure. In the beginning, we start with our 3rd finger on the G, and we're going to be playing our 4th finger in the melody. So what we have there is a pinch, then another pinch as the bass alternates, and another pinch. Now that 2nd pinch had my thumb playing the 4th string and my middle finger playing the 2nd string, followed with the 8th note to the E on the and of 2. Now I take my 4th finger off. Going into the next measure, I've got a pinch with my thumb and index finger, pinch with my thumb and middle finger as the bass alternates, and then adding the D on with my 4th finger again, letting it keep ringing while I play the 4th bass note. So here were those 2 measures. I move to a C chord, and in this case, just got a couple pinches again. That's it. Thumb alternated back and forth between 5 and 4 and a couple pinches with the high E. Back to my G chord, this time I need the D in the melody again. And then it comes off. My second finger and third finger go into the D, and I add my fourth finger. Important not to put your fourth finger down yet, until you need it. Much easier to hit these two fingers and pinch them, then worry about your fourth finger later. There's our melody. Now, the second line, kind of the same, but a little bit different as far as the syllables or eighth notes and quarter notes are concerned, because we have a few more notes. I need to reach my second finger in here to get that A on the second fret of the G string at the end of the first measure. And on the C chord, I've got a repeated E, G with the repeated D to my D with F sharp again, and a pinch. Pretty straightforward. This is a great beginning fingerpicking song. So if you're heading into this direction, good place to start. The B section, or the next four measures of the song, a couple pinches on our C's, and back to G. Here's the one we're calling D7 with F sharp. Same two bass notes, F sharp in the bass, same two melody, same two fingers. F sharp in the A, but now I add my C down, my first finger on the second fret, second string, first fret, and then back to a G chord. Coming up, well, next measure is pretty easy again. Now we have a little bit of action. This is what just makes the song a little more interesting than being really boring. We have a pinch on C, and we're going to have a pinch on G with B in the bass. This is a great and really common change. So I've gone for my C chord, my second finger has gone to B in the bass, and my fourth finger has gone to the D up on the third fret of the second string. And then back to a C chord. So that's a quick change. Listen to those two measures again. And that's such a nice little thing that we let it ring for a second and don't play a fourth bass note in there. And the last two measures. And there we have it. So, very simple song. I will run through it one more time pretty slowly, so you can play along here with me, and then I hope you just enjoy practicing it and decide to check out some of the more extensive and comprehensive, intensive, really flashy lessons that we have as part of the Target program here at Totally Guitars. But love putting up some nice simple songs when I can, and here we go with a slowed down version of Up on the Housetop. About making the bass notes a little steadier there at the end, just to see what would happen, because we got the repeated note. You've probably heard that. Just for a little variety. Anyway, experimented with it kind of randomly, but so there you go. I hope that's a great song to work on for steady alternating bass and just keeping the melody notes right where they need to be. Now, we could dress this up a little fancier. Maybe, I don't know if I want to tackle this right now, and syncopate the melody. that's the kind of things we deal with over the Target program. So if you want to get into some fancier stuff, be sure to check it out. But for now, that's it for Up on the Housetop.